Hi, ladies. Welcome to Women in Midlife. Today we have a very, very interesting topic, and we have here Miss Ling Amrita, and she is from Soulgasmic Awakening. Now, you might be wondering what she does. I let her explain to you, but in the meantime, don't go away. Hi, Ling. How are you?
Hi, Karen.
Hi. Welcome to Women in Midlife. I am so excited because I also am very curious as to what you do. It's a really interesting coaching that you do. Now, just for the audience, you are some sort of a sensual energy alchemist and intimacy coach, right?
Mhm.
Okay, can you please explain to our audience what that is?
First of all, let me break down what it means by sensuality, like sensual energy. So, sensual energy or sensuality is basically dealing with our five senses. So, when I say sensual energy alchemist, is we I will guide people to tap back into the body through various practices and tools, and bringing mindfulness
Right?
and feeling into the body, feeling into our senses, and from there to kind of like sensitize our senses. Because for a lot of us, myself included, I used to be very disconnected from my body.
Right.
Like most of us, I consider myself like a talking head. I'll go around talking, all the energy will be in the mind, thinking, ruminating and worrying and anxiety, getting myself into all this, what do you call it? um, Sometimes needless
Worries. Yeah.
worry and anxiety, like, worrying about. And it might not be good all the time. Most of the time, you'll tend to worry about the worst case scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of women, especially more mature women like the group that I represent, we so let me be clear about this. So you're saying that most women, we do worry a lot, and there are a lot of times that in fact we worry about things that may never ever happen at all, right? And as we get older, we are also much more jaded. You agree,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then we get so caught up with life, meaning taking care of the children, making sure our husband's career goals, or we're making sure that our parents are taken care of, or whatever, and that we are totally not in tune with our own body. Am I right? And
Mhm.
that's where your expertise comes in,
Mhm.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So in that case, when would someone need your help?
Okay, because when we are disconnected from our bodies, because our body holds a lot of wisdom actually. Our mind can tell us lies. Our mind most of the time um
Please tricks
loves
on us.
plays tricks on us. Our mind will go back to past scenarios, things that happened, and but the thing is, things that have happened, it might not happen again. It
Yes.
might not be the real case right now. So, and our body is can only exist in the now,
Right.
in the present, in
Yes.
the present. So when we um, come back to the present, return back to our body. And the other thing that I do is I utilize uh, the feeling of pleasure. And what I mean by pleasure is not only about sex, or when I say orgasmic energy or sexual energy, it's not only about sex. It's energy. Sexual energy is actually our life force energy that all of us have.
Right.
It's actually the energy of creation itself is where it all is, humans.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the life force energy itself. So when we tap into that in our body, where this energy exists, usually is at our perineum. When we study yoga, there's the chakras, energy centers in our body. So the life force energy is actually a lot in the at our root chakra, at our perineum area, the womb area.
The womb and the vaginal area, correct? Right. Okay.
In Tantra, we call it yoni.
Yodi. Okay.
Yoni, yeah.
Yoni. Okay, sorry.
So
Interesting.
so that is where our sexual energy resides. In Tantra, it is like in yoga and Tantra, it's symbolized by a serpent, a coiled serpent.
Right.
It's called Kundalini energy.
Okay.
So when we bring that awareness, our awareness and our breath and breathe into that area, we'll start to awaken that energy within us. And that energy is the most powerful energy because it's the energy of creation itself.
Yes. Yes. Of course.
Yeah. Without that energy, it's like
Yeah.
a lot of things will, yeah. So that energy, when we cultivate a practice of utilizing that energy using various practices and tools taught. I use various tools and practices which I learned from Tantra practices, Taoist, and erotic blueprints. So, and kind of like bring the energy up our bodies from the root up to the heart and up to the to the upper chakras.
Right.
Uh-huh. So in the process, we clear away any blockages that we have in our body. Our body stores a lot of stress and trauma. Our
Yes.
body holds the memories, actually. Our cells hold a lot of memories. And it's not just from us in this lifetime. It can be from
Previous.
our parents.
Yeah.
It can be from our parents, from our genetics, from our ancestral line. Carry it all in ourselves.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So when we utilize that energy and bring it up our energy bodies, our chakras, we're actually healing ourselves
Right.
and healing our lineage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lineage that means the past, our ancestors, our parents, as well as our children.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because our children carry our genes as well.
How do you address, because what you do and what you specialize in is so unique, and when you use words or like erotic, orgasmic, and things like that, I'm sure there are a lot of your list. I mean, your customers or people that you talk to find this kind of this is about sexual thing, and I know because I know you, and I know that it's about actually the energy that we carry there. I understand that, but how do you explain to those who think of it as, oh, this is a sexual thing? That's my first question. My second question to you is, how do you dispel or convince somebody who thinks that this is all fairyland topic? It's like, oh, there's no such thing, and waste of time, waste of money, because they don't see that our whatever past burdens, somehow our bodies do carry it in different ways, and it carries the pain maybe in your neck, your shoulders, and these are all signs that something is not aligned in your body as well as your head space, right? And that's why it's manifesting in those pains. So how do you tell somebody that that's why you need your services?
Okay, first of all, about the terms when I use like sexual energy or even pleasure or even erotic um, services or erotic massage or erotic energy. I believe that is, like I mentioned just now, I actually have to kind of like explain to them that we have to shift the mindset and the perception that it's not just about sex. It's more the energy, and because its energy is actually life force energy itself.
Right.
Life force energy itself. So I believe that's just a shift of mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as for how someone can utilize this for their own healing,
Yeah.
well, this practice is very experiential. I mean, a lot of talking. I will say that a person will have to kind of experience it. It can be something as simple as a simple practice, like coming into the present. But what I can do is I can use myself as an example
Okay.
because that is how I heal myself.
All right. All right.
That is how I heal myself. So I've had I grew up, typical Chinese family, and the not much emotional connection with the parents and the caregivers and all that, right?
Right.
And also kind of like because we stayed together, all the aunts and all the siblings, my parents' siblings, my father's siblings, that actually we stayed in like kind of like a one whole house. So all the uncles, aunties, cousins, and all that stayed. Everybody stayed together in one house. So there was a lot of bickering, a lot of jealousy, a lot of sometimes even violence.
Oh, okay.
Lots of fighting and angry. So I kind of like picked up on all these energies. And so as a child, every time I would hear like loud raised voices and all that, I'll go and run and hide. I'll go and run and hide. So my body carried a lot of kind of, I will call it like trauma, because trauma does not necessarily have to mean one big event. It can be little events, but accumulated together.
Right. Understand.
Lot in our body as trauma. So there came a point, and I had very low self-worth, very kind of totally low self-esteem, and I used to be terrified to come forward, to step forward, um, like to even speak up. I still remember when I was in primary school, I joined a choir, and a choir, we had to be on stage and just sing.
Yeah.
And I would be the one who would choose to be on the last row, always on the last, hiding behind.
Right.
So and also because of my and I've experienced depression and all those things before, and these are the tools that I've used to actually heal myself.
Okay.
To actually heal myself, because I have to heal my body, to release all the memories, all the stress, all the trauma
Okay.
that was lodged in the body, and this is how I healed myself. So all I can say is I can use myself as an experience as an example.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, can you explain generally in one of your sessions what is the practice like, so that people who may be interested to connect with you may want to look at healing more holistically.
Okay. Basically, what I do is we will hold like a connection session, like a meditation session, where we will connect our energies together, and then I will show them like how to connect back into themselves, connect because I believe that everything starts from the self.
Yeah.
The to the to the ability of us loving anyone or seeing anyone, having the space in our heart and within our heart and within ourselves to love a person and to embrace them like their fault and without judging and all those things is the ability we have to love and compassion for ourselves
Yeah.
and hold the same space. The most unsafe space is within ourselves. Because if we don't hold a safe space for ourselves, for our inner children, for all our shadows, and if you're not able to hold compassion, to have compassion and love, because only through compassion and love we are able to heal our shadows. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we are our own safest place, and we can also be our own most how do you say, our worst judge.
Yeah. I mean, we are our best bet and our worst enemy, isn't it?
Mhm.
Right? And it's true. And I think what you say does resonate a lot because,
Mhm.
in the sense that if we, if we don't take care of ourself, our own headspace, our body, how can we accept all the love and energy outside? Because we are not allowing that to come into our bodies and our headspace, isn't it? And if we don't love ourselves and we constantly looking at validation and love from outside source, that is not a sustainable validation. Correct?
Right.
Right to say that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So, Ling, sorry, I just wanted to understand if you have any example of any of your case study, your patients or clients that have come to you. Anything that you could share without divulging too much.
Okay. What I can say is I had a client um about 1.5 years back who had PCOS
And what is
because of
PCOS?
polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Syndrome. I see.
To do with feminine hormone.
Okay.
It's like a drastic imbalance of the feminine hormone,
Okay.
which is usually caused by when women, our natural nature, our core energy is feminine. That means our biological clock works in cycles. That's why we menstruate every month.
Ah, okay. Understand.
So we are different than men.
Mhm.
Men, they can, they can strive and strive and strive, always on the goal, always focus on the goal and striving, and it does not harm them because that produces testosterone, and in fact it's good for them because they thrive with lots of testosterone. But women, when we are doing that, when we are chasing, when we are always going after the goal, when we are too gung-ho, we're not considering our body, we're not considering the cycle, we are actually going against nature.
Okay. Understand.
So that will cause a lot of hormonal imbalance
Right. And
for us.
and this person got treatment from you, meaning that you spent a lot of time with her going through what kind of treatment per se.
Um, it, it's a combination because uh, for me it's like I will kind of like cater. I will kind of like design a program based on individual needs as well.
Okay, understand.
So for her, it was a combination of meditation and mindfulness to bring down and practices and healing into the body
Mm,
to help her to cultivate that body awareness
mm,
and body love, like sending love energy, healing energy to her body, and we combine with somatic practices like body practices like breathing and all that, which will get her out of the mind and back into the body, back into the present moment, that will help to really ease anxiety.
Mm. All right. All right. I mean, look, the one last question to you is that a lot of women, not just menopausal women, just generally a lot of women these days with pressures from work and family, a lot suffer from anxiety. Is there any advice you can give for them that they can already do something very simple to help them overcome anxiety?
A very simple practice will be to return back to the body, return back to the present moment by focusing, by diverting the focus from the mind, where a lot of us spend most of our time up in the head thinking and worrying, and, back into the breath, back into the body. For women, it's the womb area, because the womb area is where we as women store our energy, our creative center.
Right.
So it's like where we store a lot of our creative energy, which is sexual energy.
Mm,
Because when we are pregnant, we carry our baby in our wombs for 9 months
yeah.
in our womb. So for women, it's like we drop our focus and breathe, deep breath, and focus down into our womb area.
Right.
And that in itself instantly will kind of like drown our energy instead of all up here and all everywhere scattered.
Right.
We
Right.
will drown into our body, into ourselves.
Wow. Thank you. That is so profound, because I just want to share with you and as well to our audience. I was reading a book by a Dr. Kennedy, and he is an expert, medical expert on anxiety. And something that I heard over a podcast, I can't remember which one, but he did mention that you cannot get anxiety out of your head. It is very difficult. But if you acknowledge it, and then one of the things that he shared was to imagine you instead of focusing on that head space, to bring your hands down to wherever that is painful, meaning it could be your heart, it could be your womb, it could be whatever parts of your body, and then kind of bring those thoughts to the area of your hand, and that alone can bring down the anxiety level. And so I think that I hope women out there who are suffering from anxiety will at least practice this, if nothing else. But I will leave as well Ling's description down below with her phone number, that you can call her and make an appointment to see her, because anxiety is real, ladies, and it's not just for ladies, it's also for men, and that we need to manage it, because as life goes on for us, we need to manage them and not fight it all the time. So I hope that this little conversation that we have with Ling has been useful to you. My dear Ling, thank you for your time. And I hope that one day we can do a live webinar for my followers, and that they will be able to ask you questions live with you.
Sure, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.